A very, very good evening to you and welcome to our special election show to keep you informed and help you make your choice next Wednesday.
Can you believe it, Leanne? Exactly 7 days to go before the polls, and with about 63.9 million ballots printed already, and the IEC having launched the National Centre earlier today, it's all systems go. And, we're still waiting. I mean, there's still time for those who are still unsure on who deserve to vote.
Yeah, indeed. All right. And we also say a very good evening to Teresa.
Thank you very much, guys. Well, good evening to you at home. And yes, indeed, we focus on a lot of things today. In fact, our question to you was, what are your thoughts on Vuwani and Malamulele, as well as the issues pertaining to them blocking the IEC from holding elections in the area? You still have time to speak to us. Hashtag SABC elections. That's where we'll try and get a hold of all things as far as that conversation is concerned. And we'll chat to you a bit later. But now I'll hand you over to the main team, Leanne and Simpiwe.
All right, thanks very much, Tibiso. The anger in Malamulele, Vuwani and the surrounding villages, more than 100 in the Vembed district municipality, follows a decision by the demarcation board to merge the two areas into a new municipality. Vuwani refused the IEC access to the voters' registration, and a constitutional crisis could now be looming.
Yeah, and that, of course, forms the basis of our question today. And the state had to provide classrooms for the thousands of children who are not attending school since April. And it does look like schooling could be resumed next week. But what about the election?
The IEC says threats by Vuwani residents not to vote pose a crisis. It says if the residents don't vote, the new municipality will not be established because of outstanding wards. By-elections should be held within 90 days. If that also fails, they will approach Parliament for a constitutional amendment. The new entity has 27 wards, and 14 are part of areas disputing the Municipal Demarcation Board's decision to fall under the new entity. The residents approached the High Court to nullify the Municipal Demarcation Board's decision that encompassed them under a new Limpopo municipality to include Malamulele. They warned that should their traditional leaders sign the agreement, they will not be representing communities. Vuwani and the surrounding areas have been shut down for business and government activities, including schooling, since April. Learners were barred from going to school. This is after they lost a High Court bid to remain under Makhado municipality. More than 24 schools were burned down during the protests. This has affected 50,000 pupils, including 2,000 matrics. The matrics had to be taken to 3 camps where a catch-up program for them is underway. Earlier this week, the community agreed with government that the learners should return to school next Monday.
Now, let's take a break, after which we're going to be digging deeper into the Vuwani and the Malamulele crisis.
We'll be right back to stay with us.
Mr. President, thank you for choosing the moon.
Oh, this view is magnificent.
This has to be the proudest day of our lives.
Not hungry, huh?
Is he eating?
Nope.
Okay, Commander. Come with me.
Roger. 5 or 10-second countdown. Eagle looking great. You're go.
Roger, looks great, Houston.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. You have liftoff.
Now, this is Trends, of course, your one-stop serving of all that's juicy and trending in the world of entertainment and showbiz. My name, of course, is Refill Wemwilo.
I'm Dr. Sello Mutaung, and this is Health Talk.
A very good morning and welcome to Media Monitor. I'm your host, Alicia Jolly.
My name is Dumila Matters.
My name
is Mpo. What time is it? It's question time.
For your daily dose of current affairs, tune in to the SABC News Channel.
All right, coming to you live from our beautiful SABC studios here in Auckland Park. Thanks so much for staying with us at the time. It's just gone 5 minutes past 6. So we're back. We're focusing on the Malamulele and Vuwani crisis. And to discuss the issue, we are joined by our political analyst, Levi Ndau of the Tshwane University of Technology. And he is in our Pretoria studios. Levi, thank you very much for being with us and welcome to the program.
Good evening and good evening to the viewers at home.
Levi, some people reckon that tribalism could be a part of this crisis. What would you say is at the root of this crisis?
Well, I think one must firstly, before answering that, is to go back to what actually brought in this kind of a problem. The issue here, it's about the removal of some parts of Vuwani to a new municipality which is going to include Malamulele. But also it's very important to indicate that the area of Vuwani, it's comprised of both the Tsonga-speaking and the Venda-speaking people. And some of these people were very comfortable in the Makhado municipality. And there are some elements within the same area that do not have a problem when they go and merge into the new municipality. It is also a fact, Leanne, that the area of Malamulele is dominated by the Tsonga-speaking people. Yeah. And obviously, any form of resistance on the part of the Vuwani community can also be interpreted as having some elements of tribalism. But, well, I think there are certain other important issues that the communities have been raising outside tribalism. Some of those are that some citizens feel that if the municipality is merging with the one of Malamulele, they might not be able to access services as they were able to receive them in the past, like whilst they were at the Makhado area. There are some tribal issues that are being raised, but one couldn't actually say wholly that this matter is mainly based on tribalism.
So it's actually a bit of a
mix.
One
other aspect that one has to look at.
Yeah.
One other aspect that one has to look at is that there seemed to be insufficient form of consultation on the part of the demarcation board, and that is what most people that are found at the Vuwani area are actually emphasizing. They're saying that they were not properly consulted. They're actually happy whilst they were at the Makhado municipality.
Yeah. All right. I mean, these are issues that have been brought up more than once and by more than one area. When you talk about the fact that the demarcation board is not perhaps consulting enough, and also the services that they get in one municipality is better than another. But let's talk about these elections, because we're a week away from the elections, exactly a week away from the elections. Malamulele, they seem to be getting things in order. They're preparing for the elections. However, Vuwani is still in complete shutdown. What is this going to do for the elections?
Well, firstly, one must indicate that the people of Malamulele, few months ago, are the ones that were fighting to get their own municipality. And because of the decision that was taken by the demarcation board to have the Malamulele citizens merging with the Vuwani area to have a new municipality, the Malamulele people seem to be very comfortable, and to them it's business as usual. But I think this is informed by the fact that what they actually demanded or what they wanted, they've actually been granted. But unfortunately, for those in Vuwani, they are having a very, very big problem because they are being moved from Makhado to the new municipality. But I think now this brings a huge headache to the IEC. Firstly, the IEC must then go to this area and consult with the ordinary citizens on the ground, check with the law enforcement agencies, and also check with the political parties whether it will be possible to have fair elections, which will not, where we're not going to have people intimidated, where we're not going to have IEC staff being injured, and so on and so on. And on the basis of that, then the IEC must then come out and say, it is now possible for the elections to take place in this area. Otherwise, they might then opt to go for a postponement of these elections, so that they must allow the situation to be conducive enough for free and fair elections to take place.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you look at what's going to be happening, I mean, the IEC, is it possible for the IEC to declare the results, despite some wards and large parts of the municipality actually missing from the voting?
Well, I think the IEC has got a simple mandate. The mandate of the IEC is to provide free and fair elections. And it must be within their own rights to check as to whether it is possible for free and fair elections to take place. It won't cause any harm for the IEC to postpone the elections and wait for the right time for those elections to be conducted. But one must emphasize one point, Leanne, that local government elections are very, very important, because that is where ordinary citizens have to receive basic services. And when you don't participate in the elections, you are not going to be represented, and you're the one that is actually going to suffer at the end of the day. Absolutely. And I think the citizens of Vuwani have to take that into consideration.
They certainly do. And I mean, and that's the reality. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I want to turn our attention to traditional leaders, because I think at a time like this, the traditional leaders are feeling a little bit hard done by. And I say this because basically Chapter 12 of the South African Constitution doesn't say much about the role of traditional leaders. But in Vuwani, the traditional leaders say they feel disrespected by the government, taking decisions without their approval. What should their role be in a situation like this? Talking to residents, calming the situation, and the relationship with government at the same time.
Well, I think one has to go back and look at the establishment of the traditional leadership in South Africa. That is the kind of leadership that follows custom and tradition. One must emphasize, Leanne, that in traditional leadership, there are no elections, there is no democracy. And positions are being held on the basis of heredity. And even though it is done in hereditary terms, it is a very, very closed process, because not everybody that is part of the traditional household can qualify to become a traditional leader. But one of the important roles that traditional leaders have to play is to ensure that they build cohesion within society. They ensure that they participate in the developmental initiatives that is going to make sure that their own communities are actually getting better and better and better. And that is what you need to see in traditional leadership. But in the current democratic setup, you need traditional leaders to be part and part of the society, and ensure that they provide leadership that is actually needed by the ordinary citizens. And in the case of Vuwani, you seeing traditional leaders being in the forefront. They are the ones that are participating in the meetings, they are calling public meetings, and they say that whatever they are actually saying, they are actually representing what ordinary citizens are actually saying. And that is why we get a lot of these traditional leaders being the ones that are speaking on behalf of the ordinary citizens in that area.
Lev, we have to leave it there for this evening, but thanks so much for talking to us here on the program. Lev Yandau is a political analyst at TUT, that's the Tshwane University of Technology. Thank you very much. I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, when you think about that particular topic, and I think what Levy was just saying, you have to participate in these municipal elections. These are the elections, not the national elections. These are the elections that directly influence every single aspect of your life, of your daily life. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right, Leanne. And especially the Vuwani and the Malamulele incident, I mean, they stretch further than tribalism. It's just a people at war with themselves.
Yeah, and that's their reality. I'd love to know what they're saying on Twitter there. So what's going on there?
Well, look, I mean, since we asked the question earlier today, I mean, the 2 pages, 3 pages. I'm online right now and I'm reading some of the latest, tweets that came in. Remember at home we asked the question, what your thoughts were with regards to the residents of that area blocking the IEC from holding elections in Vuwani as well as Malamulele area. Let's just read 1 or 2 of them. One from for Katu says, government has all the rights to answer these questions. When you do not listen to the people, this is what you get. The other one says, well, Mkondisi Dube says, well, it's illegal to block IEC. Fools who do that must be prosecuted. A couple more we'll read after the break. My director says we've got to go pay the bills. When you come back, plenty more to speak of. You're watching SABC News Channel 44 and SABC 2. This is your pre-election show.
News Today keeps you informed with news locally and around the world.
When Judge John Hlophe challenged the Supreme Court of Appeal when it sent the matter back and said that there must be an inquiry set up.
We unpack business news.
There's an increase in general inflation in the country.
We give you up-to-date news of the day.
The drugs were seized at several locations in Sydney, including a shipping container sent from Hong Kong. Police say it's the largest haul of illicit drugs in 2 years.
We round up sports news.
Kotata, tell me about the legacy that you would like to build and be remembered for.
Trying to get my foundation running, which is going to focus on, all the sport, doesn't matter disability or able body. So, I'm passionate about sports.
Stay informed every Monday to Friday from 3 to 5:30 p.m. CAT. SABC News.
From the moment you start your day.
My biggest question is how I got myself here on time.
Yeah.
This is so early for a comedian, I gotta be honest.
We are there for you.
We bring your morning into perspective.
As news breaks throughout the morning.
Is an investment into the future of the airports company, but also the future of our children, the future of our country, the future of the transport sector.
We'll make sure that you get the full story.
Give us quality music.
Load shedding. Listen, this winter.
It's a thing of the past.
And you can count on the weather team with expertise.
Join us. The community of Madidi is appealing to the House of Traditional Leaders and the Department of Culture, Arts, I'd rather say Arts, Culture and Traditional Affairs in the Northwest to ensure that they are properly informed about how their finances are run.
And they are accusing the tribal authority for not including them in any community projects and says it has been years since they were informed about their finances.
A village where residents struggle to keep to account those who run their finances. Their land is not rich in mineral resources like some of its neighbors. There is also no large-scale farming here either. Most make a living running small shops in the community. Community members here are not happy with how their finances are being run. Households are forced to make contributions to the community's D account, and they are given funds by the government every month. Yet the community has not seen a financial statement in the past 20 years. After many months of complaining, the state of their finances was finally made public. But the community says they are surprised by the current bank balance of 728,000 rands. They say no one wants to account for funds in the community's account.
There is a problem with the leadership. The leadership never communicate with us about our financial statements and how much the project contracts are worth.
They believe that community projects are only meant for the well-connected and accuse the tribal office of misappropriation of funds generated from community projects. A brand new multi-purpose center and a bulk water supply line are currently being built. Yet none of the residents have been able to secure work on these projects. Instead, labor from outside have been contracted.
That job was everybody who's staying in Madrid. So we went there, then we registered our name for that job. But at the end, I was number one on the list, really. But it took me about 3 months before they can call me. All people who were working there before, they were not even on the list or in the attendance register that we were at the meeting. There was nobody there. Most of the people who were working there before me, most of them were the friend of the CLO or the relative or the one who bought the job. But it seems the CLO is selling that job.
Our main concern as the community is that we are having leaders in our village, but their leaders are not accounting to the community. There are projects that are coming into our community. The contractors are not introduced into the community. The hiring of the community is not up to scratch. Friends are hired there and relatives, excluding the community at large.
Bakhatla Bammakau, who is at the head of the Madidi Authority, says they were wrong not to prioritize job creation.
These people are coming in our offices asking people that they will hire so many people. And then after that, we always tell them that they must take the first people who are supposed to work there. They must take our community people first. But after that, people are coming back and complaining that we are not being hired, so the contract bring their own people. Why, I don't know. And when we call the councillor, sometimes they don't appear.
The Department of Culture, Arts and Traditional Affairs says they were not aware that the community were concerned about the management of their finances, as there is a standard rule of handling community funds.
There is funds on a monthly basis that is being given to Mahosi, to Merafi. And thereafter, if ever a Morafi or a community has got some incentives from the contributions done by the communities, that money is then banked in what we call the D account. So that process has been monitored.
They are now looking into this matter.
There is a process of an investigation. If ever maybe a particular traditional leadership is being accused of misappropriation of funds, they are then the directorate then comes in to investigate and give substantial evidence as to what is really happening in that regard.
Government has promised that they will give the community feedback as soon as their investigation is concluded. Muitzi Masibi, SABC News, Madidi in the Northwest.
Now, the people of Mkondo in Mpumalanga will vote for water provision, proper roads and jobs. It is part of the Khat Sibande district municipality with its seat in Piet Retief. Our reporter Vuwani and Malamulele visited the area and compiled this report for us.
Mkondo, a rural municipality with a population of more than 170,000. Agriculture is the backbone of the municipality's economy. Many farmers here specialize in forestry and crop production. But just like some other municipalities in the country, it has its own challenges. Most people living in the farming areas have no access to basic services.
We've got nothing. There is no service delivery at all. We don't have roads, we don't have electricity, we don't have water, and we don't have toilets.
The municipality admits that some areas are lagging behind in terms of service delivery, but funds have been set aside for roads and water infrastructure.
We have decided that we better construct the road, because through the road, that's when we can able for them to access service delivery. For now, we've just given them this water. As you can see, the tanks on top there. We are trying to give them water. And on our ITP also, we have provided money, or we've put money aside to develop the road, because you can't go here twice. You go once with your car, and the second time you will say we won't come here again because of the condition of the road.
35% of the population is jobless, most of them young people.
We would love to see young people getting jobs, because that's the main problem we're having in our community. And we would love to see things just changing in our homes. You understand?
Employment, job opportunities, building of school, hospitals, clinic, police station.
The ANC controls the municipality, occupying 28 of the 38 seats. The remaining 10 are occupied by the DA, IFP, and PAC.
There's so much corruption happening in our local municipality that also our officials is not sharing things that are happening in our local municipality with the councillors, with the current councillors, do not go to the communities and share with the communities what is happening.
People, they show a very positive response when we speak to them, when we also do the door-to-doors. We're hoping to get, to solicit, in fact, to get almost more than 5 seats in this municipality.
Mkonde municipality is well known about service delivery protest and so forth. Those didn't happen because the capacity of the technical team, the management that has been established now is more focused on service delivery issues and more people orientated, and the communication to the communities has also improved. So I want to urge all people to go and cast their vote on the 3rd of August.
Soon, the residents will have their say. Mweli Maslela, SABC, Mkondo.
Thank you indeed there. Well, that was our final story for the evening. Just a quick one of the question we asked you today. Is it right for the people of Vuwani to block the IEC? Kulani Ngwegazi says if government can listen to the people of Vuwani and grant them what they want, there would be no reason and no violence for them to do that. Unfortunately, that's where we've come to the end of the show. I'm going to join my colleagues down this way. Guys, it's been a lovely one.
Yeah,
So
it's been a good one with some really pressing issues.
You know, I'm voting on the 1st.
Oh, are you?
Yes, on the 1st of August. Special vote.
Okay.
Because there's that trip that could or not be good.
Don't elaborate on that one. You keep that one to yourself. I'll be voting on the day. Whether I'm working or not, I will make my way back to where I live. Definitely voting over there. And ensure, we said it again, you have to vote where you're registered. Remember this time, you can't just vote anywhere. Yeah. You have to be registered there. So it's very important.
And I think what people should understand as well, when you get there, apparently you get 3 voting papers. One for the ward or where you stay, one for the local, I think, municipality, and one for the provincial. So there's 3 ballot papers. 3
different ballot papers that you're voting for.
So I think it's just one of those things to remember. I think maybe you could get clarity maybe tomorrow on the last show.
Hopefully. It'll be really, really nice. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Now, tomorrow we're coming with something of vital importance. It's been a very violent run-up to the elections, a lot of political killings in the country, and we'll be focusing on that. Have a great evening. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. Good night.
Bye-bye.
I just saw something.